Bonjour. J'ai le plaisir d'avoir avec moi cet après-midi un jeune homme qui vient de la Roumanie. Il a une très intéressante expérience pour nous raconter. Son nom est Szallos Farkas. Il va aller pour présenter sa expérience en anglais. S'il te plaît.
So it's my brother's experience with 3ABN, and it's a very interesting experience because we come from an Adventist family, but as we grew up, as we became teenagers, both my brother and I ended up going further away from the church, further away from God, unfortunately. And I'm sharing my brother's experience because it's very interesting the role that 3ABN had in his return to Christ. Basically, he became an atheist during his teenage years, and after finishing high school, he moved away from the country we were living in. We were living in Scotland, and he moved away to Japan, and he was an English teacher in Tokyo, living by himself. He was 17 and a half when he left, so he wasn't even 18 at the time, and he taught in Tokyo for one academic year with an organization that sends young people to be teachers. And so while he was living there, he was drinking, smoking. He was also working very hard, but he was very far from God. And then he moved back to Romania, and he was looking for a job. And basically, the only option he had at that point was to work for an Adventist man who had business, and as part of that business he also had a Christian media ministry, and as part of that media ministry he also subtitled English programs for 3ABN. So they were programs created probably in the States, and they would add English subtitles for people who maybe couldn't hear so well. So the interesting thing is that this meant basically that my brother was watching 3ABN 5 days a week, and he had to watch every single program 3 times. First he watched it to write down the text, and this was before AI. Then he had to re-watch it to put the text in the right place, and then he watched it a 3rd time again. So imagine watching really good 3ABN content and seminars 5 days a week, and each program 3 times. Basically, it was as though he was going to church 5 times a week. And this went on for quite a while, and it got him thinking. All the quality content and all the seminars made him realize that there is something to all of this. And he started thinking about these things, and it was a very important step which eventually resulted in him coming back to Jesus and deciding that he wants to be baptized. So we're all very grateful for this.
Yes.
And I'm glad that I met you and that I can share this testimony.
Wow, it's a very powerful experience, and we want to thank you for sharing with our people who are listening and who are looking to us this wonderful experience.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much. So I want to let you know in French, l'expérience est très émouvante. Son frère, qui était éloigné du Seigneur pendant qu'il faisait les sous-titrages pour les programmes de 3ABN, il a recommencé son chemin vers le Dieu. Ça, c'était une expérience très, très importante, très émouvante, et nous voulons glorifier Dieu pour ça, et nous voulons remercier aussi notre frère qui nous a présenté cette expérience. Merci beaucoup.
You're welcome.